Slave free. Stop.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम दोस्तों, मैं ठीक हूँ। उम्मीद करता हूँ आप लोग भी ठीक होंगे। मैं आपका वेलकम करता हूँ अपने चैनल किंग रियन खान में। तो दोस्तों, आज का मेरा व्लॉग है कि मैं आपको अफ्रीका का आइलैंड दिखाऊँ, जिस आइलैंड का नाम है कुंता किंते आइलैंड। इस वक्त मैं बंजुल में हूँ और हम फेरी वाले रास्ते से जाएंगे। इस वक्त हम फेरी का वेट कर रहे हैं। ये दोस्तों, अभी हम फेरी की तरफ चलते हैं। वहाँ से मैं टिकट भी लूँगा और आपको वहाँ का व्यू भी दिखाऊँगा। टिकट ले लिए, एक टिकट $25 की है। तो आइए हम अंदर चलते हैं। दोस्तों, अभी हम यहाँ फेरी का वेट कर रहे हैं। ये जगह है जहाँ पे फेरी आके पार्क होती है, तो हम बाद में यहीं से अंदर जाएंगे फेरी में। दोस्तों, वो देखो फेरी आ रही है। ये देखो, मैं आपको यहाँ पे पानी के 2 कलर दिखाता हूँ। तो दोस्तों, फाइनली हम 12 पहुँच चुके हैं। तो हम फेरी से नीचे उतरेंगे, फिर हम टैक्सी लेंगे, फिर हम आइलैंड की तरफ जाएंगे।
Sit down like how
you sit. Exactly. And you put it here. Put your finger. Okay. Aja, plan. Aja. You make your finger like that. One finger. Huh? As Smoker, he said you put your finger like that. Your leg. Okay. Okay. So you have to. You make one finger like that. Okay. Good. Slavery. When we're here, sometimes we used to have a lot of white people, visitors coming here anyway. Sometimes they will even ask us, how do you still see us here as white? But in Africa here, we always tell them we can forgive, but we cannot forget. Around 1661, the island was attacked by the English people, and they fired the island, bombed everything, and they took over the island. They rebuilt the island 1661 by Duke of Corland. After building the island, then the English people took over the island and changed the name called James II in England. That's why it is famous, and on books history they call it James Island.
James Island.
So James Island was there until 1681. The Royal Adventure of England refired again and took over the island. Until 1672, when the French people took over the island. So it's like they are fighting the interests of the island. There is no diamond, no gold on the island there. But why the interest of fighting? They knew when local people were captured here, they took them there. The local people cannot attack them because we were using bow and arrows and cutlasses. Our forefathers were not having guns. There was a time 500 people from this village attacked the Europeans there, and they were all fired on the island there. So the island continued to be used until 5 years later, the Spanish people took over the island again. After the Spanish people again, the Dutch people attacked the island. Those are the people from Netherlands again. You see, after the Netherlands people, then the island again retained in the hands of the English people. You see, But the English keep on using the island until 1829. Between that period of 400 years straight, 15 to 20 million young Africans were being taken from Africa here. Every slave taken on that island has to spend only 2 weeks on the island there. After spending the 2 weeks, they don't take you directly to America, but they take you directly to an island called Gore Island in Senegal, whereby you cross the Atlantic and then they take you to America. When they take you to America, that's where they will sell the slaves. You see, but slavery, after it stopped in England in 1807 by a man called Thomas Clarkson. He was actually a friend of slaves. When they stopped it in 1807, now slavery actually continued in other countries like Denmark until 1830. It continued in America 1863 because of Abraham Lincoln on that war in America, North America and South America. But when they stopped it here in the Gambia, you imagine, you tell humans, if they can swim and come and touch this pole here, you are set free from that island there. When people were tortured, humans were beaten, they were tortured and hungry there. Nobody has made it in our record. They all drowned in that. Okay, never again. That's why we painted this statue black and white. It is not important you are from China, India, Lebanese, Gambia, white, Dutch. We are all having red blood in our body. So never again, you know.
Never again.
Alpha, you can stand here and take a picture.
I am Alpha.
Oh, okay.
Hold the chair. Hold it.
अंकल हमें बहुत अच्छे से गाइड कर रहे हैं तभी हम बोट में बैठने जाएंगे
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast, I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Gonna learn the consequence of being incompetent. Mental health is confidence, dreams and some honestness. I'm not here to save the day, that's for you to take away. I could play a million mind games, but instead I say something not illogical, something that is topical. Rub it on and watch it go, make yourself unstoppable. Dreams are irresponsible, but they're always possible. If you just believe, you could be so remarkable.
Thoughts in my head, a collage and they spread. I'll be great one day, going off of my meds. No, I'm not giving up, no, I'm not giving in. I will make it to the top, taking off in the wind. I gotta make it, I'm saving every day to taste it. I'm patient, but my mind, it can hardly take it. I'm chasing a dream that I've had for several ages. A vacant, modern kingdom for the taking.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. For the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Gonna learn the consequence of being incompetent. Mental health is confidence, dreams and some modestness. I'm not here to save the day, that's for you to take away. I could play a million mind games, but instead I say something not illogical, something that is topical. Rub it on and watch it go, make yourself unstoppable. Dreams are irresponsible, but they're always possible. If you just believe, you could be so remarkable.
Thoughts in my head, a collage and they spread. I'll be great one day, going off of my meds. No, I'm not giving up, no, I'm not giving in. I will make it to the top, taking off in the wind. I gotta make it, I'm saving every day to taste it. I'm patient, but my mind, it can hardly take it. I'm chasing a dream that I've had for several ages. A vacant, modern kingdom for the taking.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
I person talking to I Dudu, I remember bring the brother of Michael Jackson here, Jermaine Jackson, on the 6th of February. That is not long ago. He's the one who changed.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and and make a statement.
Gonna learn the consequence of being incompetent. Mental health is confidence, dreams into modestness. I'm not here to save the day, that's for you to take away. I could play a million mind games, but instead I say something not illogical, something that is topical. Rub it on and watch it go, make yourself unstoppable. Dreams are irresponsible, but they're always possible. If you just believe, you could be so remarkable.
Thoughts in my head, a collage and they spread. I'll be great one day, going off of my meds. No, I'm not giving up, no, I'm not giving in. I will make it to the top, taking off in the wind. I gotta make it, I'm saving every day to taste it. I'm patient, but my mind, it can hardly take it. I'm chasing a dream that I've had for several ages. A vacant, modern kingdom for the taking.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
And the water will with you. So big fish will eat you. This is how they treat the slaves. The island was only mainly just a place of like a weekend people before they take them to Europe. That's why the importance of the island. You're welcome inside here. This is where most of slaves will die, and this is where most of slaves will go under difficult penalty. You imagine how small is this room? Believe me or not, this is a real story. I'm telling you. They will put 20 tough young Africans here, 20 people.
In this place?
In this place, believe me, it's even in our history, people will stand like that, and you just don't come here one day. When you are put here, they put you here for 2 good weeks completely. When they put you here, the sad and baddest thing is when they to give you food, they don't come through the door respectfully to give you the food, but the master will stand there and throw food for slaves here. So slaves survive according to their fitness. What about the young ones? How do they do? When we go to the museum here, you'll see where this big chain is from. Kunta Kinteh was like that, and they hook one of the chain on his neck like that. They stand here, they do toilet here, believe me, and everything for 2 weeks. Completely, before slaves will go out of this room, they will get blind. And when they go out, that is not the only penalty they get. They face another difficult penalty. There's a place here we'll visit. They take out all their clothes like that, and they empty them, both women and children, and they will brand them like that, like cows. It's really disappearing. You see, there are a lot of cannons you can find around the island like that. That cannon lying down in the water was somewhere here before, but because of the erosion and the island is erosion, that's why the cannons are going. And you see here, why we circle this stone, this is where they bring all the slaves. When they bring all the slaves out here, now they'll be like, you remember the boat is coming, expect the boat is coming from Gore Island to pick a slaves here, 150 slaves. They will take out all their clothes like that. So they assemble them like schoolboy. When they call you, one, come, you go. That is where the first bridge of the island was built. Where we put our boat is just built newly by us. This is built in 1450 by the Portuguese. This is where they will put that hot fire branding, and they will brand on your map, and then they pack it on board. Imagine when they do that, there's no medicine they even give you to keep the painkiller. That's how you just go. So this is where the first bridge was. The boat will anchor somewhere here, and then they will line up them. The slaves will walk directly on the bridge like that. So this is the first bridge of the island. You see, the slaves will be going. The arbour or the bridge was somewhere around where that black boy is floating there. So they will just march 150 slaves at a time, and they tie to them, they still chain them together. It's not like when you're on boat, you will be free. When you are slaves, they have to circle your body like that, and you will be followed by someone who will be whipping you. So when they are on boat, they don't stand, put them like a sandwich on top of each other. They lay them on the edge of the sea, so they go directly. Yes, room. This is the governor room. This room, when we invite archaeology here, those who do digging and finding, this is where we found Andrew lying down. Andrew, who died on the island here in 1456 because of malaria, was buried in this room here, and we call it the governor room. And these are the red fire blocks I was telling you when we come in. These are all transported from Europe by the Europeans. When they are coming, they used to put their fire blocks and red blocks on the ships so that they can balance the ships on the water. So when they come to Gambia, they cannot find cement at that time. There was no technology. What they could do is to pick these oyster cells. These oyster cells are from the mangroves. When our local mothers collect oysters, they pack them together. So when they pound them and they crack them like that, so they mix them with the sand and salt, seawater, they do the plastering of the island. And it is stronger than today modern cement. You can see these buildings are 400 years old. You may see the island is damaged, but there is a reason why the island was damaged like this, because of this room here. When you go to like a soldier barracks, you must find an armory sentry place there. The armory is a place where soldiers will keep their ammunition for war in case if they got any attack. But they were here on that day, the English people, they forgot a hit in Africa because an explosion done here, emergency boom, you see, on accidentally. So when the explosion done, that's what bring all this damage of the wall and kill 11 English soldiers. If you go to England on holiday anytime, visit a museum there called Liverpool Museum, you will see that incident there. And we put this, is this nothing, it's not danger. We just put danger here for the safety. Like sometimes we bring school students like him, and sometimes when they are stubborn, they do want to climb on the wall. We just want to advise them, the walls are old now, let them not climb. That's why we put them danger like this, you know.
Okay.
But there's cannon was not facing this way at that time. This cannon was facing this way. You know why that 717 is on the cannon? It's because of this cannon. It's the first cannon they have explode and fire on the cannon in the island here. You see these baobabs, this is why they're important in the Gambia here. We have to know our own history. If you cut a small branch of it now, in the rainy season it fell, it still grew. When this cannon was fired, there was a big baobab tree, which is not this. This one replaced that one. You see, according to our history and our forefathers, they said it caught a small branch of this tree and fell down. So they marked the number of that cannon here. This is why this 717 is still here. This is more than 400 years. This is older than me, this number. You see, so the more the tree is growing, the more it developed. The more it developed. A person who used to be a caretaker on this island here wrote this number here. It's the father of these people who owns the boats. It's the first guy the government introduced here to bring tourists on this island here. That is the last cannon they dropped on this island here. This cannon was put on top of the tower here. Like this is the mouth of the river Gambia. And most of this attack will come from this way. Sometimes the Spanish will attack them from this way. The Dutch, the French, the Americans, and the English people will fire this cannon. It's a 24-pounder cannon. This cannon is 750 meters when they fire it into the water. It fired 4 times during the slave trade attack. When the Dutch attacked them, when the Spanish attacked them, and the French, they fired this cannon here. And this used to be a tower of the island. But this is not the original tower. If in 72, the tower I see here was a wooden one. I witnessed that one, 72. I think we see it in my eye. But we put this so that it can last long. That's why we put the iron. Okay. And this is telling you here, the whole island is like this. That's what we put on the map. But unfortunately today, you cannot see all the slave house. They are all in the water here. When you dive, you can still find them. This is what is like left on the island. So the government should do something about this island, as many people are visiting here. It's even tell you here, if 33 soldiers on the island, 8 militaries and 13 writers, and 20 writers, 32, you see. So Slavery, I always advise people. Slavery, many young people like this in school today, it comes even in the Gambia, in their exam, West Africa, in their curriculum of exam. They will ask them, why do you think slavery has to stop? And I always tell the students, slavery stopped not because to respect me and you, our humanity. And slavery doesn't stop because of our political reason. Slavery has nothing to do with our religion. Slavery only stopped is because of industrial revolution. Machines were invented now. This is why when you go to America, South America and North America has a problem because of Abraham Lincoln. That war was in America here. So I thank you very much. It is very important of your coming. People are coming all 1,000 kilometers from UK, America, Europe to come here. Much more, most even Gambians are here. They don't even have never seen their history. It's very important we retain our history. I thank you very much for your audience.
Thank you.
We can visit the museum. That's going to be.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Gonna learn the consequence of being incompetent. Mental health is confidence, dreams into modestness. I'm not here to save the day, that's for you to take away. I could play a million mind games, but instead I say something not illogical, something that is topical. Rub it on and watch it go, make yourself unstoppable. Dreams are irresponsible, but they're always possible. If you just believe, you could be so remarkable.
Thoughts in my head, a collage and they spread. I'll be great one day, going off of my meds. No, I'm not giving up, no, I'm not giving in. I will make it to the top, taking off in the wind. I gotta make it, I'm saving every day to taste it. I'm patient, but my mind, it can hardly take it. I'm chasing a dream that I've had for several ages. A vacant, modern kingdom for the taking.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
मुझे बहुत सारी हिस्टोरिकल इंफॉर्मेशन जानने को मिली। दोस्तों मैं उम्मीद करता हूँ आप लोग को हिस्टोरिकल इंफॉर्मेशन यूनिक मिली होगी। तो दोस्तों अगर आपको कुंता किंते आइलैंड पसंद आया है तो मेरी वीडियो को लाइक करें और चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करें।